Hiya, welcome to Darren in the Studio. Thanks for swinging by for another video. This is going to be our July 2024 roundup of stuff that I've been buying, stuff that I've acquired this month. Well, this is going to be the last time I do a roundup at the end of the month because it's just getting too much. The videos are getting too long, and this video will probably show you why I'm going to stop doing that. So what I'm going to do in the future is when I get stuff, when I buy things, whether it be brand new or from charity shops or wherever, I shall try and show it to you on a more sort of regular basis, and we can make some more videos then and get more sort of content on the channel, because I'm acutely aware that the channel sort of started off a video a week, something like that. And now we're down to, I don't know, we've been around about 14, 15 months, something like that. The videos are getting less and less, and I want to create more content on here because I love doing it. But it's just time at the moment. Finding time to make videos is getting a little bit tricky because, you know, I've got my radio shows to write and record and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, we've all got day jobs. And there's all manner of other things as well. So a lot of things have took up my time rather than doing videos here on YouTube. So let's get on with it. These are the buys and the acquisitions of July 2024. And again, as always, it's been a really great month. But bear in mind that a lot of this stuff that you're about to see has been purchased for literally next to nothing. We're talking pennies, pounds, you know, and if I can remember what I paid for it, I'll tell you. So it's everything's in alphabetical order. There's vinyl, there's CD, and there's cassettes as well, which is pretty cool, and we'll get to one of those. We've got ourselves a grail. I found a grail. And I'm really chuffed about it. Let's have a look. First one in alphabetical order is Aerosmith. This is called Classics Complete. I understand that this was basically two sort of mini albums put together on one CD. It's a 16-track CD. This particular release came out in 1998, I think. It's not bad. Some of the recordings of the earlier days are a little bit rough and ready. Aerosmith Classics Live. Bought this for 50p. Nice little mint condition. Really nice condition. 50 pence from one of the charity shops that I frequent for CDs and music in general. Aerosmith Classics Live, 25p. Next up, it's somebody who I do collect quite a lot of. And I like this guy's music. And again, you'll find this guy's music in charity shops for next to nothing. And here's another one. This cost me 25p. That's 25 pence, not pounds, 25p. This is Glen Campbell's Arkansas album. It's a collection of sort of late 60s, early 70s material. Plays really nice. The sleeve's seen better days, got some scuffs and scrapes. But for 25p, it's the music that matters. And it plays beautiful. Glen Campbell. This is on the EMI Capital Vine series. Nice little album. Sticking with Glen Campbell, and in the same shop and purchased at the same time, was this. I've been playing some Christmas music. How about that? This is Glen Campbell's Christmas album, That Christmas Feeling. This is on the Music for Pleasure label through Capitol Records. This is a nice little album, nice little 11-track album. Got some familiar things on it and some unfamiliar things on it. Nice little thing on the Music for Pleasure label through Capitol. 25p, Glen Campbell's Christmas album, That Christmas Feeling. Next up, something brand new. How about that? Got this off Amazon. I was going to buy the vinyl version, but the vinyl version was a little bit expensive, and it's, you know, I still like CDs. I still buy CDs. This is the brand new one from Johnny Cash. This is Songwriter. This was an album, it says on here, 11 songs newly found, previously unreleased material recorded in 1993, which would be sort of the back end of the sort of Highwayman kind of period that he did with Waylon Jennings and the rest of them. Johnny Cash, brand new album. This is produced, I think it's produced by his son, John Carter Cash, who who actually met once back in Nashville. Nice guy. Johnny Cash, brand new songwriter. Good album, good stuff. I'm sure they'll probably find quite a lot of stuff of Johnny Cash's. I mean, I know he's been gone for a good few years now, but there's probably loads and loads of material in the vaults that hasn't come out yet. Here's one. This cost me, I could not believe this cost me 25p, but it did. Honest. This is Eric Clapton. This is Timepieces, and I'm sure this is an 80s compilation. It probably says on it. 1982, this first came out. This is like a collection of material from sort of 70, 74, 77, that sort of thing. I Shot the Sheriffs on it, After Midnight, Knocking on Heaven's Door, Promises, you know, the stuff. Nice little album though, and I'm guessing this is possibly a first release on CD, because you've got the way you get all this digital transfer information. Nice CD, mint condition. Eric Clapton, Timepieces, 25p. Next up, I spoke on the intro about a grail. Now, I've got a couple of 3 grails, and one of my grails was, and kind of still is, because I'm still gonna, if I ever find them, I'm still gonna buy them. Alice Cooper, who you know I'm a big fan of. I love his album Special Forces, and I've always wanted it on cassettes. Now I've got it on I think it's a Bulgarian bootleg cassette. You know, those ones where they used to fill up the tape with sort of hits and stuff like that. But I found it. I found one, and it's a nice German copy of Alice Cooper's Special Forces on cassette. Now this is a really, really rare album. And this has literally cost me nothing, because I bought it with 2 other cassettes that were on eBay. And I will tell you what the other 2 tapes were. I purchased this, basically came free, and I didn't know it was going to be this cassette. So I was properly squealing when I opened the package. This is a nice little German version of the tape with paper sleeves. I haven't played it yet. There's the J card. Alice Cooper's Special Forces on cassette is, like I say, is a very, very rare thing. But what a thing of beauty. There is some sleeve sort of damage, or it's been folded and creased on the inside, but absolutely super excited to get this Alice Cooper on cassette, Special Forces 1981, rare as Rocking Horse Teeth and that other stuff that Rocking Horses never produce. I'll tell you how I came about this in a minute, so I'm going to put this just to one side. Next up, talking of Alice Cooper's Special Forces, I did a video, my last video here on YouTube was about these 2 albums. So I'm going to skip over these in this presentation because I've already done a video about them. Alice Cooper's Special Forces Special Edition on CD and Alice Cooper's Zipper Catches Skin Special Edition on CD as well. These are reissues from 2009 with bonus tracks on them. So if you want to find out about these, check out the previous video. Next, an album that I bought because I had to replace one. When I was writing my radio shows, I went to upload some music onto the computer and I snapped the CD. The CD just snapped in my hands. Now that's never ever happened before. And it was this album, it was The Doors, the very best of The Doors. But the version that I snapped, I'll quickly get it for you, was this one. And I've thrown the CD away already, but this sort of special limited edition version came with a remix disc. But like I say, I broke the one with all the hits on it, the good stuff. I broke it. Just completely snapped in my hands. So I looked on eBay, picked this up for £3. And what I was going to do was I was just going to take the disc and replace the disc, because this is the standard version of that album, but the track listing is completely the same. I was going to take the disc and just put it in this one, right, and swap it and just replace it because I'd snapped it. But this is so nice. This one I've picked up off the internet. It's so nice, really good condition, beautiful condition, as new. Cost me £3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep this one as well. And no doubt, when I'm in a charity shop, you can guarantee I will find this version of it. And it doesn't matter if the case is in crappy condition. All I want is the disc. But I've got that version now as well. That was £3. Let's put this one back. Okay, this is why my videos get so long, right? Okay, next up, Bryan Ferry. This is a nice little CD, another 25p CD. This is called The Collection. This is on the EMI label, and I really like these EMI sort of collections. They're on the EMI Gold label, and it's basically hits, album tracks, B-sides, some really unusual things. There's a nice version of what's it called? The Way You Look Tonight is great on here. The Way You Look Tonight, that one. Bryan Ferry, The Collection, 25p. This next one, the Foo Fighters. This is the In Your Honor album. This is the double album. Disc 1 is heavy. Disc 2 not so heavy, as it says on the old hype sticker there. I used to have this as a CDR years ago, but unfortunately the CDR, like a lot of my CDRs, they just failed. So when they fail, I just throw them away. So it was really good to find this. This was 50p, double CD, really nice condition. Beautiful to find a real version of it. 50p. This is from 2005, I think. I'm not sure. I can't see. I've not got my magnifying glass. Foo Fighters, In Your Honor, 50p. Next up, this is an odd record. This is somebody, wherever I find Paul Simon, I always find Art Garfunkel albums. There's probably a reason for that. Probably the same person donating them, right? They were a fan of Simon & Garfunkel. This is Art Garfunkel's album, Scissors Cut. Now, you'll see here, it came with this plastic sleeve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that off for now. And this is how the album came in the charity shop. This was 50p. And this is a former Leicestershire Libraries copy. And this here is actually cut out. I'll take the record out. There's actually a cut in the sleeve, can you see? Probably freaking you out a little bit there. And I don't know why. I don't know why that is. That's not how the album came. I know the album's called Scissors Cut, and I thought at first, when I first saw it, I thought, oh, maybe it was just the way the album came, part of the artwork. But it's not. That would have been something that the library had put in there. Came with its original inner sleeve, really nice condition. This is on the CBS label. I think this is early 80s. This is 1981. Nice little original CBS pressing, and it's also still got the Leicestershire Libraries card where people would, where it would be stamped out for people when they were borrowing them. I was going to try and get this off, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it on. I'm also going to leave the information sticker on it. It plays beautiful. No pops, no crackles or anything. Really nice condition. 1981 Art Garfunkel scissors cut with a unusual cut in the sleeve made by the library that was loaning it. If you know why they put that cut on there, let me know. Next up, it's a strange little album, and I nearly didn't pick this up, but it was 25p, so I thought, might as well. Here's the Goodies. Do you remember the Goodies? Those of you in the UK will know who the Goodies are. Maybe if you're in sort of America or some other far-flung land, you might not know who the Goodies are. The Goodies were a three-piece comedy act who had their own television show, which ran for a number of years, well into the 80s. This is I think it's 75. This is called the Goodies the new Goodies album, Almost Live. It's on the Bradley's label. It is 1975. It's got some nice sort of, you can't see it on the camera, but all this is embossed, and this is as well. Really nice condition. 25p this was. Like I say, I nearly left it in the shop. This has got the big hit on it, the Funky Gibbon. And there's a track on here right at the end, in the side one, Rock with a Policeman, which is great. It's really good. It's all the songs, apart from Wild Thing, were written by Bill Oddie, who's still around. This is Tim Brooke Taylor, who I think died a number of years ago, and I'm not so sure about Graham Gardner, whether Graham Gardner's still alive or not. I'm not sure. I know Bill Oddie is. He just recently had a birthday, I'm sure. The Goodies, 25p, plays really nice, and it's a really great record. It's a bit like the Wombles, bit like, you can imagine like Wombles, Slade, Wizardy, kind of glam rocky, but it's funny, you know, it's got some really funny lyrics in it. Good stuff. 25p. Next up, PJ Harvey. This is her album, which is called Stories from the City. Stories from the Sea. This is on the Island label. This would be what, 93-ish, something like that? No, 2000. 2000. Couple of tracks on here I absolutely love, and I only had them on compilations. I've played them a few times on the radio. Good Fortune is a great track, and the other one, This Is Love, is on here as well. Kamikaze is also a great track on here. This was, I think this was 50p. In one of the charity shops. Nice condition. I had to swap out the case because the case was a bit damaged. And also, don't you just hate this sort of stuff? When people do this and these get trapped in these little pegs. Put your CDs away properly. You know, when I come to die, people will find all these CDs and will think that I've made these marks. They're not. These are previous owners' marks. PJ Harvey for 50p. Next up, another comedy album from somebody who, at this recording, died a couple of weeks ago. Very famous American comedian, actor, Bob Newhart. This doesn't have a title as such. It's just called Bob Newhart. Segments recorded live in concert. Nothing really to say about it, apart from it's very funny. And it's very good. I'm sure this is a UK sort of Pickwick sort of reissue. This is from these, I think it's the mid-70s. This is 1973. Again, 25p in the local charity shop. Bob Newhart. Nice little comedy album. Next, here's an album which I've seen in charity shops loads. And I've sort of never picked it up, usually because the covers were usually trashed, or I just didn't have the inclination to do it. And I really like this guy. This is Elton John. This is his Songs from the West Coast album, which is 2001. This is a nice little original copy. Beautiful condition, as new. This was £1 in the charity shop. The reason, I mean, I love Elton John. I've got lots and lots of Elton John stuff in the collection. So I was really chuffed to actually get a really decent copy of this. And you know what? This has got a few songs on it which were hits. But this is a fabulous album. It really is. And it's even better to get it at a really cheap price. Elton John, songs from the West Coast. Next on our buys, this was so cheap, it was insane. And I bought this with some books, and yeah, I bought this with some books for Marina. This came from the charity shop in the hospital. This is Kirsty Moore. This is called the Kirsty Moore Collection, 1981 to 1991. I don't know very much about Kirsty Moore, I'll be honest. I just know that he's an Irish singer-songwriter, and this album is incredible. The case was a little bit trashed, and there's a little bit of water damage here. It looks like it's part of the artwork, but it's not. It's actually water damage. Kirsty Moore, there's probably about 15 tracks on here. This collection came out in 1991. It's on the Warner Brothers label. Kirsty Moore, nice little best of from 81 to 91. A nice little decade span look at his career. Really nice album, this. The great thing about picking stuff up cheap and you really like it, it gives you that sort of spurs you on to buy more of their stuff if you find it, you know. And if I see any more Kirsty Moore stuff, I'll surely be buying it. Now then, let's go back to this cassette. This is one of my grails, and I finally own an original official copy of Alice Cooper's Special Forces on cassette. This is German, like I said earlier, and I bought this with this. This was being advertised. This is Queen's Greatest Hits 2. This is a nice little original 1991 cassette copy of it. Obviously it's on the Parlophone label. It's still got its... The inside still looks great. This was made around the time where cassettes were still quite popular, and they started... The record companies made a bit of an effort. You just didn't get a very plain J card. You got a bit more... Well, you pretty much got the information as you would have got on the album or the CD. Now, I picked this up because it said it came... It said Queen's Greatest Hits 2 also comes with Queen's Greatest Hits 1. So I bought these two together on eBay, and the seller said it comes with an Alice Cooper cassette. So I thought, well, it's going to be nice having these two. It didn't cost me that much money. And when I opened the box, the freebie cassette that came with it was Alice Cooper's Special Forces. And like I said, what a lot of squealing went on, I can tell you. Because like I said before, Alice Cooper's Special Forces on cassette is really, really rare. And I was so chuffed to get that. So Queen's Greatest Hits 1, Greatest Hits 2 on tape came with Alice Cooper's Special Forces on tape. Whew. What a find that was. Next up, we had Art Garfunkel earlier, didn't we? Well, how about this? I did say wherever you see Art Garfunkel, you're going to find Paul Simon, and vice versa. This is Paul Simon's album, which is called Surprise. This is a nice little album. Strange album, this one. It's sort of acousticy, and then it gets really rocky, and there's a little bit of sort of pop involved in this as well. Paul Simon, Surprise. Again, really, really nice copy. Nice original CD. This was with the Kirsty Moore CD, and I literally paid probably 10p, 20, 25p, something like that, and it's a really great album. Really great album. Maybe I should put it like that. Maybe that would be the thumbnail. I don't know. What does that look like? I can't tell. Paul Simon. This is on the Warner's label. Cheapest Chips. Here's an album, another of those replacement discs. Used to have this on CDR, and like most of my CDRs, it went. But here's an album that you find all the time in the charity shops. Best of Nina Simone. This is a nice little collection that came out in 2006, I think that says. This is on the Sony label. Got all the great stuff on here. My favourite track on here is Mr. Bojangles. I've got Mr. Bojangles done by plenty of people. But I think this is hers is the best version of it. Really nice overview of her career. Sadly, long time gone, of course. The very best of Nina Simone. I think this was 50p. Again, nice little original CD. Here's a real find. This is a really great find. This, people, was 25 pence. I've just looked on Discogs, and this goes for about a tenner. 15 quid, something like that, in really good condition. This is in good condition. This was 25p, like I said. This is the Concert Sinatra. It's not a live album. It's just a collection of songs with Frank Sinatra, conducted by Nelson Riddle. Now, I'm not really, hot on jazz and stuff like that, but I do know that Nelson Riddle is one of the greatest arrangers and conductors of all time. There's no doubt about that. This is on the Reprise label. This is an original pressing from 1963. This came out. You can see where it's got the folds, where the LP sleeve folds over the top. Of course, later they would fold it inside. Laminated on one side, not laminated on the other. That gives you a clue that it's an original. This LP was released in two different versions. You got a gatefold version and just a single copy. This is just the single copy version, but really nice condition. I was playing this earlier on, and it plays beautifully. It really does. The Concert Sinatra, Reprise Records, 1963. Nice little original, 25p. Okay. The Stranglers, how about this? This is another of those EMI Gold collections. The Stranglers, The Collection. This is basically a collection of album tracks, hits, B-sides, sort of throwaway songs. There's some really good material on here. I've got to thank my friend Gary at work for giving me some more info on some of these songs. He's a big Stranglers fan. Again, nice little collection on the EMI Gold label, similar to the Brian Ferry one that I showed you early on. This cost me 50p. The Streets, I've got some of their singles, or his singles, down there in the collection. But how about one of the albums? This is the original Pirate Material album. I'm not sure whether this was the first album or the second album. Has It Come to This was one of the hits on this album. Really, this sort of material came from the streets, came from sort of pirate radio, and was very sort of anti-establishment, even anti-establishment when it comes to record companies. And of course, this guy got signed to a big label, and Warner Brothers, and sort of became a multimillionaire overnight, which is sort of ironic, I think, because a lot of the music that's featured on here is about the struggle of getting by, The Streets, original Pirate Material. This was 50 pence. Mint condition. Okay, we're getting to the sharp end of it now. A couple more things for you. This is a nice record. This was from the same charity shop as the Frank Sinatra one. 25p. This is Chart Encounters of the Hit Kind, Part 1. Unfortunately, Part 2 wasn't there. This has got some great tracks on it. This is on the Ronco label. This is about 1983-ish, something like that, 82, 83. Culture Club's on here. Eddie Grant, the Bell Stars, the Piranhas, Depeche Mode, Joe Jackson, Toto, Nick Haywood, Joan Armatrading, Grace Jones, Hazy Fantasy, do you remember them? Phil Collins, some great tracks on here. Nice little collection, really nice condition. Plays like it's brand new. The sleeve is in really great nick too. Chart encounters of the hit kind. 25p. Last one was a gift. This was gifted to me by a colleague at work. Karen gave me this. Thanks, Karen, if you're watching. This is absolutely country. This is a nice 3 CD collection. I'm not sure what the label is, if I'm honest. It's one of those sort of budget sort of collections. This, she said that she really likes a bit of country music, but this is a bit too hillbilly for her. And I can see why. You know, this is like Johnny Cash, Don Gibson, Hank Williams, who else is on here? Frankie Lane. Who else is Eddie Arnold, you know, the kind of thing. Farron Young, Webb Pierce, those sort of 50s country music stars. And most of these songs are 50s or very early 60s. Absolutely country. A gift, if you want to pause that for the track listing, you can do. A gift from my friend at work. So we say thanks to Karen for that. That is it. And like I said, this is going to be the last of our roundup videos for the month, because the videos are just getting too long. I mean, we're already nearly 32 minutes, so they're far too long. So what I'm going to do from now on is just make videos as I get stuff, you know, just make videos as I get them, and that'll give us a bit more content and stuff like that. So if you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that kind of stuff. Look, watch some of the other videos. And more importantly, leave your views and your comments at the bottom. If you've got any of these albums that I've acquired in July of 2024, then let me know. And we'll swing, hopefully, we'll have another video very soon. So swing by when you get a minute. All right. We'll see you soon. Take care. Ta-da.